Welcome to the English Nest. Today's powerful English lesson is about two very important expressions that are often used in daily conversations: formal English, business communication, legal English, and academic writing. Our topic is use of agree to and consent to. Many English learners think that agree to and consent to have exactly the same meaning. At first glance, they look very similar because both expressions show acceptance or permission. But in real English, there is a clear difference between them. Native speakers use them in different situations depending on formality, authority, permission, choice, and emotional tone. In this lecture, we will deeply understand the meanings, grammar, sentence structures, common mistakes, practical uses, and real-life examples of agree to and consent to. By the end of this lesson, you will confidently know when to use agree to and when to use consent to. Let us begin with the first expression. Use of agree to. The expression agree to means to accept a proposal, suggestion, offer, condition, plan, idea, or arrangement. When someone agrees to something, they accept it willingly after hearing or considering it. Agree to is very common in spoken and written English. It can be used in formal and informal situations. Basic meaning of agree to. Agree to means to say yes to something, to accept something, to approve a plan or suggestion, to accept conditions or terms. Sentence structure of agree to. Subject plus agree plus to plus noun. Subject plus agree plus to plus verb ing. Subject plus agree plus to plus proposal or condition. Examples. I agreed to the plan. She agreed to help me. They agreed to the new rules. We agreed to work together. Now let us understand where agree to is commonly used. Agree to for plans and suggestions. When someone accepts an idea or suggestion, we use agree to. Examples. He agreed to our travel plan. My parents agreed to the proposal. The manager agreed to the new strategy. She agreed to the meeting schedule. The team agreed to the changes. In these examples, people accepted plans or suggestions after consideration. Agree to for requests. When someone accepts a request, we also use agree to. Examples. The teacher agreed to explain the topic again. My friend agreed to lend me his book. The company agreed to extend the deadline. The doctor agreed to see the patient immediately. She agreed to answer all my questions. Here, someone accepted a request made by another person. Agree to for terms and conditions. This expression is also widely used in contracts and official situations. Examples. The customer agreed to the company's terms. Employees agreed to the new policy. He agreed to the contract conditions. The players agreed to the rules of the tournament. We agreed to the payment method. This use is very common in business English. Agree to with verbs. Agree to is frequently followed by verbs. Examples. I agreed to join the class. She agreed to participate in the competition. They agreed to support the project. He agreed to study abroad. We agreed to wait for them. Notice that after agree to, we usually use the base form of a verb. Difference between agree to and agree with. This is an important point. Agree to means accepting a proposal or plan. Agree with means having the same opinion. Examples. I agree with you. I agree to your proposal. In the first sentence, there is similarity of opinion. In the second sentence, there is acceptance of a proposal. This difference is very important in English grammar. Now let us move to the second expression. Use of consent to. Consent to means to give permission for something officially, formally, willingly, or legally. It often shows permission given by a person who has authority, rights, or control over a matter. Consent to is more formal than agree to. This expression is commonly used in legal English, medical English, official communication, and situations involving personal permission. Basic meaning of consent to. Consent to means to give permission, to allow something willingly, to officially approve something, to permit an action. Sentence structure of consent to. Subject plus consent plus to plus noun. Subject plus consent plus to plus verb ing. Examples. She consented to the operation. They consented to the marriage. He consented to sharing the information. The patient consented to treatment. Consent to for permission. This is the most common use. Examples. Her parents consented to the marriage. The patient consented to surgery. The owner consented to the use of his property. She consented to the interview. They consented to the investigation. In all these examples, permission is being given. Consent to in legal and medical English. This expression is extremely common in formal situations. Examples. The patient consented to medical treatment. The witness consented to provide evidence. The company consented to the inspection. The family consented to the procedure. Participants consented to the research study. Here, consent means formal approval or legal permission. Consent to for personal rights. Sometimes people use consent to when talking about personal freedom or authority over decisions. Examples. She did not consent to the publication of her photos. He consented to the release of his records. They consented to the use of their data. The actor consented to the interview. The student consented to appear in the video. This use is common in modern English. Tone and formality of consent to. Consent to sounds more serious and formal than agree to. Compare these two sentences. I agreed to the trip. I consented to the trip. The first sounds natural and casual. The second sounds formal and serious. That is why native speakers usually use agree to in normal daily conversation and consent to in official situations. Main difference between agree to and consent to. Now let us deeply understand the main difference. Agree to focuses on acceptance. Consent to focuses on permission. Agree to is more common and casual. Consent to is more formal and official. Agree to is often about plans, ideas, offers, and arrangements. Consent to is usually about permission, rights, authority, or legal approval. Compare these examples carefully. She agreed to help me. This means she accepted the request. She consented to help me. This sounds formal and suggests official permission or willingness. Another example. The workers agreed to the new schedule. This means they accepted the schedule. The workers consented to the inspection. This means they officially allowed or permitted the inspection. Now let us compare them side by side. Agree to. Meaning. Accept. Tone. Neutral and common. Used for. Plans, suggestions, requests, conditions. Common in. Daily English. Consent to. Meaning. Give permission. Tone. Formal and official. Used for. Permission, authority, legal approval. Common in. Legal and medical English. Common mistakes students make. Mistake number 1. Using consent to in casual daily English unnecessarily. Incorrect. I consent to eat pizza tonight. Correct. I agree to eat pizza tonight. Reason. Consent sounds too formal for casual situations. Mistake number 2. Using agree to when official permission is required. Incorrect. The patient agreed to surgery. This sentence is possible, but in medical English, consent is more appropriate. Better. The patient consented to surgery. Mistake number 3. Confusing agree with an agree to. Incorrect. I agree to you. Correct. I agree with you. Remember, agree with is for opinions. Agree to is for proposals and plans. Now let us study 5 detailed examples of agree to. 5 examples of agree to. Example 1. After several discussions, the company agreed to increase employee salaries next year. This sentence shows acceptance of a proposal after discussion. Example 2. My brother agreed to drive me to the airport early in the morning. This sentence shows acceptance of a request. Example 3. The students agreed to follow the classroom rules during the examination. This sentence shows acceptance of conditions. Example 4. She agreed to join our English speaking course because she wanted to improve her confidence. This sentence shows acceptance of an opportunity. Example 5. The landlord agreed to reduce the rent for a few months due to financial problems. This sentence shows acceptance of a request or arrangement. Now let us study 5 examples of consent to. 5 examples of consent to. Example 1. The patient consented to the medical operation after speaking with the doctor. This sentence shows formal permission in a medical situation. Example 2. Her parents finally consented to her marriage after meeting the groom's family. This sentence shows formal family permission. Example 3. The company consented to the government investigation without any objections. This sentence shows official approval. Example 4. Participants consented to share their personal information for research purposes. This sentence shows legal or formal permission. Example 5. The actor consented to the use of his photographs in the advertisement campaign. This sentence shows permission related to personal rights. Now let us explore advanced understanding for English fluency. When native speakers prefer agree to. Native speakers prefer agree to in ordinary life because it sounds natural and conversational. Examples. I agreed to go shopping. She agreed to meet me tomorrow. They agreed to change the plan. We agreed to study together. These sentences sound friendly and natural. When native speakers prefer consent to. Native speakers prefer consent to in situations involving authority, law, medicine, or serious permission. Examples. The patient consented to treatment. Parents consented to the school trip. The witness consented to questioning. The owner consented to the construction work. These situations involve official or serious permission. Verb forms of agree and consent. Present form. Agree. Consent. Past form. Agreed. Consented. Past participle. Agreed. Consented. Examples. I agreed to the offer. She has agreed to the conditions. They consented to the interview. He has consented to treatment. Pronunciation practice. Agree. Pronunciation. Agree. Agreed. Agreed. Consent. Consent. Consented. Consented. Practicing pronunciation improves speaking confidence and fluency. Daily life conversation examples. Conversation 1. A. Will you help me with my project? B. Yes, I agree to help you. Conversation 2. A. Did your parents allow the trip? B. Yes, they consented to it. Conversation 3. A. Did the company accept your proposal? B. Yes, they agreed to the proposal. Conversation 4. A. Did the patient allow the treatment? B. Yes, the patient consented to the treatment. These conversations show the practical difference clearly. Formal and informal usage. Informal English. Agree to is preferred. Formal English. Consent to is preferred. Examples. Informal. I agreed to go with them. Formal. The committee consented to the proposal. Understanding formality helps you sound more natural in English. Practice sentences for students. Try to understand which expression is better. Sentence 1. The doctor asked the patient for permission before surgery. Correct answer. The patient consented to surgery. Sentence 2. My friend accepted my invitation to dinner. Correct answer. My friend agreed to my invitation. Sentence 3. The company officially allowed the inspection. Correct answer. The company consented to the inspection. Sentence 4. The students accepted the teacher's new rules. Correct answer. The students agreed to the new rules. Now let us discuss some advanced grammar patterns. Agree to plus verb. Examples. I agreed to stay. She agreed to participate. They agreed to cooperate. We agreed to continue. Consent to plus verb ing. Examples. She consented to sharing the documents. They consented to participating in the research. He consented to signing the papers. The patient consented to receiving treatment. This structure is common in formal writing. Powerful vocabulary related to agree to. Accept. Approve. Approve of. Accept willingly. Support. Accept a proposal. Powerful vocabulary related to consent to. Permit, authorize, allow, approve officially, grant permission, give approval. Using related vocabulary improves your English expression. Real life situations. Situation 1. Business meeting. The manager presented a new strategy. After discussion, the employees agreed to implement the changes. Why agree to? Because they accepted a plan. Situation 2. Hospital. Before surgery, the doctors asked the patient to sign a consent form. The patient consented to the procedure. Why consent to? Because official permission was required. Situation 3. School. Students agreed to participate in the English competition. Why agree to? Because they accepted participation. Situation 4. Research study. Participants consented to share their personal data for scientific research. Why consent to? Because formal permission was involved. Tips to remember the difference. Tip 1. If the sentence is casual or daily, use agree to. Tip 2. If the sentence involves permission or authority, use consent to. Tip 3. Agree to is about acceptance. Consent to is about permission. Tip 4. Consent to sounds more formal. Tip 5. In legal and medical English, consent to is preferred. Now let us do a small fluency exercise. Repeat after me. I agreed to the plan. She agreed to help me. They agreed to the new rules. The patient consented to treatment. Her parents consented to the marriage. The company consented to the inspection. Practicing aloud improves speaking fluency and pronunciation. Now let us understand subtle emotional differences. Agree to usually sounds cooperative. Consent to sometimes sounds reluctant but officially willing. Example. He agreed to join us. This sounds friendly and positive. He consented to join us. This sounds formal and slightly serious. That emotional difference is important in advanced English communication. Common collocations with agree to. Agree to a proposal. Agree to terms. Agree to conditions. Agree to cooperate. Agree to participate. Agree to help. Agree to join. Agree to support. Common collocations with consent to. Consent to treatment. Consent to surgery. Consent to marriage. Consent to publication. Consent to investigation. Consent to sharing information. Consent to questioning. Consent to research. Learning collocations helps you sound natural like native speakers. Mini quiz. Choose the correct expression. Question 1. The patient finally blanked the operation. Correct answer. Consented to. Question 2. My parents blank my decision to study abroad. Correct answer. Agreed to. Question 3. The witness blank answering the lawyer's questions. Correct answer. Consented to. Question 4. Our team blank the new training schedule. Correct answer. Agreed to. Excellent work. Now let us finish this lesson with a strong summary. Agree to means to accept a suggestion, proposal, plan, request, or condition. It is common in daily English and sounds natural in conversation. Consent to means to give formal permission or approval. It is more serious and formal and is commonly used in legal, medical, and official situations. Agree to focuses on acceptance. Consent to focuses on permission. If you understand this difference, your English will sound much more natural, intelligent, and professional. Keep practicing these expressions in speaking and writing. The more you use them, the more confident and fluent you will become. Thank you for learning with the English Nest. Keep improving your English every single day because confidence in English begins with daily practice. See you in the next powerful lesson.